Well, good morning from Brisbane, where the Lions have had their first big training session of the week ahead of Saturday's first test against Australia at Suncorp Stadium. And the big news is that Mack Hansen sat out training today. He and Blair Kinghorn both were off their feet. Mack Hansen has a foot injury picked up in that AUNZ game on Saturday and is now highly unlikely to be available for that first test against Australia. Andy Farrell has had his final selection meeting with his coaches. Richard Wigglesworth told us that the players have not yet been told what the starting 15 is, but it's a major blow for Hansen, who's played really well here on tour, was right in the mix for a selection place, either on the right wing ahead of Tommy Freeman or on the bench covering the back three spots and out half. He's been so good in the games. He's added something very different to what the Lions offer, as he has done with Ireland. He's been a popular member of the squad. They're certainly not ruling him out for any more than this first test. They haven't ruled him out for this first test yet, but after John Dalziel said he wasn't carrying an injury yesterday, it's emerged that he has a foot problem. He didn't train today, and as a result, it looks very unlikely that he'll make it in time. Kinghorn, well, he picked up that knee injury in the win over the Brumbies and was visibly upset, thumped the ground after he got injured. He hasn't trained yet, and it's unlikely at this stage, although Richard Wigglesworth did say, the assistant coach, that there's a chance both of them could play their way in by training tomorrow. It seems highly unlikely at this stage. That means Hugo Keenan will play fullback for the Lions in the first test. We expect James Lowe on the left wing, and then there's a couple of more selection debates around the place. Who will partner Hugh Jones at midfield if it is Hugh Jones who steps in for Garry Ringrose? We always wonder if Andy Farrell has a surprise up his sleeve. Well, we're expecting Hugh Jones to wear number 13 jersey as the kind of only recognisable outside centre in the squad, albeit Sione Tuipulotu has played alongside Bundee Aki in that test defeat to Argentina in the first game the Lions were together, and that is a partnership they could play. I mean, there's obviously the option of playing Owen Farrell at 12 as well, but we're expecting it to be Jones. Does he go with the all-Scottish combination, the Tuipulotu combination, or does he bring Bundee Aki and put him in alongside Hugh Jones and see how they play together up against Lenny Katau and Joseph Suaalii, who is the big star of this series? We got the chance to talk to him today. He will be, certainly the Australians are pinning their hopes on him being the man who can deliver a test series win for them, unlikely as it may seem. Certainly the bookies are ruling out the Australians, but they have a certain degree of confidence. They were very relaxed yesterday. It's much more tense here at the Lions. They banned non-photographers from their vision access today. They don't want any news of their team getting out. Kind of unusual stuff, but maybe it's a sign of the tension going into this test series. The other big decisions, we think probably it's going to be Finn Russell and Jemison Gibson-Park. They've been very good on tour so far. Why change that combination when it's worked so well? Up front, it's Andrew Porter against Ellis Genge for that loose head position. Probably Dan Sheehan, who was up for media today alongside Ty Furlong. That's expected. Maro Toje, captain, he was up for media yesterday, looked quietly confident. Does he go with Joe McCarthy, or does he bring in Tyke Byrne to play alongside him, or Ollie Chesham? If he goes with McCarthy, then that rolls into 6. Does he go for Chesham or Tyke Byrne, or does he play Tom Curry and two fetchers with Tom Curry and maybe Josh van der Fleer or Jack Morgan? There's also Ben Earl in the mix. Jack Conan was up for media today. We expect him to be named at number 8. So there's a lot of big decisions, and that's before we get to the bench. I guess a lot of those bench discussions will start once we know what the 15 is. So a lot to discuss, a lot to think about. Andy Farrell has brought his coaches together into conclave. They've come out with a decision. They haven't told the players yet, as far as we're aware. They certainly aren't telling us, but it's starting to become clearer and clearer as the jigsaw pieces fall into place. Darcy Graham was obviously called up. He's arriving in. He's obviously here as cover for Mack Hansen as a result of that foot injury. Don't think he's in test contention, but they are looking a little bit skinny in those back 3 positions. But they do have Marcus Smith's capacity to wear the number 22 jersey, but also cover 15, with Owen Farrell covering the centre position and out half. So lots to discuss, lots for Andy Farrell to decide. Up the road in the Brisbane City Centre, the Wallabies are also preparing. They're doing media today as well. Joe Schmidt probably has fewer selection dilemmas, although there's kind of a couple of discussion points around who he starts in his front row, his back 3, and also I guess who's 10, although we expect Ben Donaldson to come in for the injured Noah Lolesio, with James O'Connor, the experienced campaigner who played against the Lions 12 years ago, in the mix maybe for a bench spot. But all will be revealed on Thursday. Neither team does media tomorrow. It's a down day here in Brisbane. Although while the Wallabies are taking a down day and taking their day off, the Lions will have their performance training session, what Paul O'Connell with Ireland describes as the box office Wednesdays, the live scrummaging. So a lot more intense. Their biggest training session of the week is tomorrow. So they'll keep doing that away from prying eyes. There'll be no media there. There'll be no media afterwards. The next time we hear from them will be when Andy Farrell reveals his team on Thursday.